Yolan True, and welcome to another exciting day in our galaxy. And it's always exciting when we have a new arc and a lot of new stuff. But as promised, we'll start with one thing kinda everyone was expecting, and it really came in. That's the new ship, the USS Reliant you see there. And as I said, of course, I got it to test it a bit. And so we're going to talk immediately today about the new ship. It's a epic 4-star ship with 2 abilities. There are no unlockable abilities as usual with the ships recently, but there are 2 abilities that immediately come with the ship. The first one is always Reliant. The USS Reliant increases its isolated damage by 1100% against augment exile hostiles. And the Reliant Barrier. The USS Reliant increases its apex barrier by 50,000 against augment exile hostiles. And the very important one is here in the button. You know that these D7 that are attacking you when you are entering augment exile space, they have a special ability to blow up your warp core. So there's no fight, there will be nothing in the battle protocol. They will just destroy your ship with a chance of 90% of doing so. And there are also those miners that do the same with a chance of 30%. And the Reliant is immune to that. So in short, the whole explanation here, the Reliant is just immune to this destabilizing effect on your warp core. And so you will always have a proper fight with the Reliant, then just depending on the ship's abilities, the ship's strength, your crew, etc. And that's a good thing. The Reliant is an explorer. That means it is strong against interceptors, if you know the combat triangle. And that's a good thing because the D7s that are attacking you are interceptors. So despite everything else, you also have the advantage from the combat triangle when you use your Reliant in augment exile space. And the whole point of the thing is that you can now auto level in exile space, but it's a 4-star ship. And at the beginning, and mine is still tier 1, of course it starts, let's say, not too strong. You can see that my Reliant now on tier 1 and level 5 is 6.4 million strong. That's nothing compared to my other ships that I'm using there usually. But the abilities, of course, the always Reliant and the Reliant payoff, that increases your loot. That was the loot thing. And the other thing was the apex barrier and the isolated damage thing. Those are very helpful, of course. So you can start doing something with the Reliant there. A lot of people will ask, of course, about getting it. We will talk in a second about getting the ship itself. But I can already tell you, it really depends on what level you are, how helpful that ship will be for you. Because with all my research and everything and my crews, I can auto-level in the level 40 system. But to get enough points for at least for the events we have at the moment, there are augment exile, hostile hunting events and stuff like that. I get almost no points there for what I need, because on my level I would have to fight somewhere up here to get some proper points for that event. If you're on a lower level, a brand new Reliant will help you, because the point requirements for you will be much lower, etc. So the question of does it make sense for me to have the Reliant right now is a bit more dependent on your level than usual. And in this case, the lower your level, close to level 26, the more sense that ship makes. And that's a bit of a pity, because there is a bonus that you might want now, and for that we will go to the augment faction for a second. But the ship itself and the auto-leveling part is completely uninteresting for a player on my level. So if I wouldn't do the videos, I wouldn't have bought that ship. But as as I said, that's the point where I spend money on something in the game to get that ship, to make this video for you so you can decide yourself. Because the only really interesting thing for everyone is 3 chests here in the Augment Faction store. I will not talk about all the new things in here. I will do a separate video on the update of the faction store, but I want to talk about these 3 chests. And the one is the Reliant Mega Claim. That brings you some of the credits. It brings you a few augment points. But the most important part is it brings you the USS Reliant parts you need to upgrade the ship. That's why I could already upgrade 2 of the devices on the first tier, but that will take a while still until I get it to another tier, because I will not buy the parts. I know some people did, because we've already seen a tier 7 Reliant on my server, but that's not what I will do. So that's the interesting part for the Reliant itself. But there are 2 more mega claims, and I always have to look out where it says mega. That's mega. Here is mega. The priority 1 mega claim is another claim where you can spend the uncommon wraith credits, where you get planetary charts, trade XP, officer XP, and so on. But the planetary charts are interesting here, and that. Oh no, that's the wrong one again. That's the... Oh no, it's the right one. It just puzzled me because it had the same 5,000 cap as did the planetary charts. That's why I got puzzled. I mixed it up yesterday already when I talked to one person from my alliance. No, that's the priority 1 mega claim is from the Reliant. And there's also the Forbidden Tech Mega Claim, another mega, which is really interesting for me because there are fusion rods in here. There's Forbidden Tech upgrade material in here, but the most important part for me is the fusion rods. I'm on a level where I'm still always low on fusion rods, and to get additional fusion rods to what I usually get, and I can exchange 1 or 2 chests, which are not too expensive here, and can get another 5,000 fusion rods, and that's quite helpful for me. So these 3 chests are what's interesting for almost everyone, except you are on the highest levels that are, and if you're one of the people spending more money, that those will not be interesting for you. But for players that are still working on a lot of things, those 3 chests are interesting. And that's the only thing I would suggest that you think about. Do I want these chests now? Then you would have to buy the ship, because these are the interesting parts. Or can I wait? Because there's nothing important otherwise, except you are close to ops level 26, that the ship makes sense for the auto leveling part. I can do the same with a different ship in a short time, just not auto leveling. I just have to grind, but it's quick to get the same amount of the common stuff I get with the Reliant at the moment on that tier. Because, and there we are at the getting the ship part, you need 200 blueprints for it. And you can get 2 of them each day in the faction store here. And that means you can get the ship within 100 days free to play. I'm quite happy that recently we always immediately got a chance to get the new ships via the game in 100 days. In the past, with different ships, it was very different, that there was no chance of getting them free to play. Buying was the only option in the first place. So here, once again, we have from the beginning a chance to get it free to play. And that's where you have to decide, can I wait these 100 days? Is anything so important for me that you've seen here and to get it? And for most people, I would recommend to wait that time. If you, as I said, close to level 26, it might make more sense to buy it. If you're up 70, well, the chests will decide if you want that or not. but it's not a must-have. That will be a ship that after some time, probably, if the tiering up doesn't make a huge difference in the strength of that ship, that will, like other ships, probably be idle in my docks and not be used too much. Nevertheless, the Reliant is an old Star Trek ship from the good old times of Star Trek, and so I really like that the Reliant is in the game from the point of the Reliant itself. But what it brings is, yeah. There's one important point I don't want to miss, although I said I don't want to talk about the faction store too much today in this video. The Reliant starts with a warp range of 62, which is quite low. It's a 4-star ship, and that's the point. But you get kind of a first upgrade gift after you got the Reliant here in the faction store, and there are favors. You know, the augment favors, and we will not talk about all the new ones in this video, I said, but there's an augment warp core favor, and with just 3 levels you get warp range of another warp range of 920 for the Reliant. So that will quickly change the fact that it starts with a warp range of 62. So just look out for that one. It wasn't very expensive. You got when you get the Reliant, I got the Reliant, the first upgrade gift here in the faction store after building it, and that was more than enough to get me to the warp range 920 plus what I had in store, but I didn't have so much in reserve, and so that's fine. The warp range is fine now on this ship after doing that favor, so have a look for that if you haven't seen that yet. But in general, you've seen the important parts, so to speak, about the Reliant that are decisive for your decision to buy or not to buy. So I really would like to hear your opinion about the ship. As I said, we will talk about the faction store, what was added with the Reliant, etc. In the Augment Faction Store video that I will also make. And we will talk about crews as well. I'm testing a lot of crews at the moment. For that ship and for the auto leveling part, and so it's just about the ship now. What do you think? Did you get it? How satisfied are you with it? And please write in the comments below the video and on Discord. And if you want to see another video right now, the next one is right here in the end screen. I'll see you there. I'll be back.